Hello guys, this is Dr. Weiss. Today I want to show you a very nice deck profile of new Sakura Wars in Japanese. This is a gate pants profile. So Sakura Wars is a set that is quite underrated. Not quite sure why. It is basically one of those sets that people at high level usually don't discuss and don't consider. In my opinion, this reputation is not deserved. So let's have a look at the features, the main features of the set. The set is very recent but strongly underrated, as I said before. For example, on encoredecks, there are very few tests and profiles for this set. However, there are plenty of powerful and interesting builds that can be constructed with this set of different colors, different combination of colors. The profile that I'm going to show today, the red-blue build, has very good climax combo at level 1. This climax combo is not unique for this set, but it is, let's say, relatively common. You can be seen in other sets, but it's very good. And also good climax combos at level 3, and which work with experience. So you need to have certain cards in the deck, in the level. Sorry. So there's lots of level 0 utility cards. So there is no lack of anything basically at level 0 apart from Twin Drive. In fact, there is no level 0 Twin Drive. However, at level 1 and level 2, there's several Twin Drives that are available. And perhaps the only real, let's say, drawback of the set is the absence of powerful and annoying effects such as stock swap, money counter, and it makes little use of memory apart from a few cards, most notably a time machine of level 1 that I will show you later. So let's see some notable cards, some interesting cards that are not present in the deck profile that I want to show you today, but I just want to show you, some of them. So the first card is this, I call it a spammer or a replicator. So if you have one of these on the field, you pay 1, you discard the card, and basically, typically you discard the same card, the same level, the same 3/2 card, and then you can search a card from the waiting room, the one that you discarded, put it on the field, and a card from the deck, the same card from the deck, and put it on the field. So you have 3 copies of this card with basically 3 stocks and 1 discarded card from hand. So this is very powerful. It is also in combination with a brainstorm of level 0, with a yellow brainstorm. You pay 3 and you can deal a lot of damage to the opponent. So this is very nice finisher. There's another finisher which is yellow. It has 3 souls, as you can see there. And it is a Musashi, so it just needs a marker. It's a specific card, it's a specific Azami card. But yeah, it's a normal Musashi, but it has this feature. It's very powerful. It has 3 souls, so it's lots of damage. Then there is a healer, a stock healer. Basically, you put this card, you pay 2, and it is early play. So if there is a specific card, a Yui in the clock, this becomes level 2 in your hand. And basically, when it's placed, you discard the card, and you basically put a card from the clock, the first card of the clock, in stock. So it just costs 1 stock. This time machine is very nice. When after it attacks, you can pay 1. You can put it in memory, and you can salvage a card from the waiting room. So this is very useful to avoid reverses at level 1, and it comes back in the next turn. Basically, it's also useful to eliminate if you trigger the climax, you can eliminate immediately from the stock. There is also this incredibly nice level 2, which is again yellow. This is 6,000, but as soon as you have 2 other characters with certain traits, which is easy to accomplish, it gets plus 4,000, so it becomes a 10,000 character. And the climax combo, basically climax with the gold bar climax. When the opponent card is reversed, you basically blind stock 2. And I forgot to mention that this, when it's placed and it attacks, you discard the card and deals 1 damage to the opponent. So very powerful card. It's really, really big. But let's start discussing the deck profile that I want to see today. So this is a red-blue deck profile, so gate pants. In my opinion, this is one of the most powerful profiles that you can have in this set. Let's see. Let's start from level 0. So we put 4 copies of Sakura Courageous. So this is the main hand filter in the set. So basically, when it becomes reversed in battle, you reveal up to 3 cards from the top of your library. And if you reveal at least 1, you choose up to 1 combat review character among them, and they're all combat review is the name of the set. You put it in your hand and put the rest in the waiting room, and then discard the card from your hand in the waiting room. So basically, it's a very effective filter that allows you to look at 3 cards, mill a lot, and achieve your first, basically go through your first deck very quickly. So you can build your hand. In particular, you can collect the level 1 combo with this card and other useful cards at level 0. So yeah, so with this card, basically we put 4 copies because it's really, really useful. Then we put 4 copies of this blue card, Sumire Imperial Combat Review General Commander. This is probably the best salvage Riki that I know. So first of all, when this is placed from hand to the stage, you put the top 2 cards of your library into the waiting room. If there is a climax, then you can choose a combat review character in your waiting room and put it in stock. This is the first auto effect. The second effect is a normal salvage Riki effect. You pay 1, you put the top card of the library in the clock, and you salvage a level 1 or lower. So basically, if you put even if you don't have any stock, if you put this card, you can stock charge 1. If you're lucky, you hit the climax, and then you can use that stock for the Riki effect. Or in alternative, this card can be used in later stages of the game to just stock charge basically for free, if you are lucky, of course. So this is a really, really interesting and powerful Riki, and it can be useful at all stages of the game. So we put 4 of this. And of course, I forgot to mention that this one is milling a lot. So in the initial stage of the game, it is very good to go through the deck. Then we put 3 copies of Sumire Legendary Top Star. So these cards look very similar, but they're different. This is a level 0 bomb. So basically, when she is reversed, and very easy to be reversed because it's just 500 power, you put the opponent character, if it is level 0 or lower, on the bottom of the deck. So this, of course, is used to deny any possible on reverse or from the stage to the waiting room effect from the opponent. So not only that, but the first effect is that when it is placed from hand to the stage, put the top 2 cards of your library in your waiting room. If there were at least 1 climax amongst them, choose a character in your opponent's front row, and it gets minus 1,000 power. So you can instantly kill some utility cards of the opponent in the front row. So this is very useful. Imagine, for example, Saikano, the yellow. The cards that go to memory. There is a card that gives 2,000 power, and when it goes to memory, when it gets reversed, it goes to memory. You pay 1, goes to memory and search. So you can use this card very effectively to basically annoy the opponent. And she mills. Then 3 copies of the Brainstorm of the set. of this particular build. There is several brainstorms in the set, actually, of all colors. This one is a tutoring brainstorm, so the usual effect: you pay one, rest this, flip 4 cards. If there is a climax, you search card in the library, and it supports any Sakura in the center position of the front stage. So any Sakura in the front, in the center position, gets plus 500 power, plus one level. So in certain situation, it is useful, but however, this is probably not extremely game changing, let's say. Yeah, basically this is the main brainstorm. Then we put 2 of these beaters. She could reach 5k and mill 2 cards. So basically this cannot side attack. When this is placed from hand to the stage, put the top 2 cards of your library in the waiting room, and this gains X power. So this is a very standard effect. X is 1000 times of combat review characters among those cards. So she, in principle, can reach 5000 and can kill anything in front of it. Perhaps also level 1 characters of the opponent. So yeah, we mill a lot with these level zeros. Basically, we go through the deck very quickly, and basically we get what we want from the deck. Then we put 3 Sakuras. So this is a Sakura, so it can be supported by the brainstorm. She could get plus 500 power and plus 1 level when it's in the center. So this Sakura Sword blooming in the blue sky, she's a global assist, so she gives 500 power to all the combat review characters, and allows to look for pieces greater or equal than level 1, including events. So in fact, the second ability is an act ability. Pay 1, rest this, look at the top 2 cards of the library, choose up to 1 level 1 or higher cards from them. Reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, and put the rest in the waiting room. Of course, it's a kind of lottery, because you're paying 1 stock and you don't know whether you get what you want, or if you're very unlucky, you don't get anything. But if you have stocks to invest, it could be really, really useful, especially in the later parts of the game, I would say. And but it can be used at any level, of course. This card is particularly important because it is used as a marker by the early play Sakura 3-2, which is also in this build, with the Cherry Blossom robot, Sakura's robot. So, and you will see that this particular early play has a very nasty effect on play. Then we get to level 1. This is the main climax combo. So 4 copies of Anastasia, Life of a Top Star. So this is okay. I say fantastic non-interactive climax combo. This is not unique of New Sakura Wars set, but it is present in several sets. But nevertheless, it is powerful because it is non-interactive. When it is placed from hand to the stage, if you have another combat review character until the next end of your opponent's turn, this gains 1000 power. So this is very good. So it's 5500 power until the end of the opponent's turn. So it stays rather big in the opponent's turn. And the climax combo is that when absolute 0, which is the Pants climax, is in the climax zone, and there are 6 or fewer cards in your hand, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your library and search for up to 1 combat review character, reveal it, put it in your hand, and put the rest in the waiting room. So basically, again, she mills a lot, and she can get basically the level 2 cards or anything that you need for later stages of the game. And it is non-interactive, so whatever the opponent does, he or she cannot prevent this effect. So yeah, here I write plus 1500 in the opponent's turn. Actually, it is plus 1000 in the opponent's turn. Sorry for the typo there. So ideally, if you want to put 3 of this in the front row, and attack with 3 of these cards in the front row, ideally you would have 4 cards in your hand. So basically, since you can get cards only if you have 6 or fewer cards in your hand, if you start the attack when you have 4 cards in your hand, you can get 3 cards, achieve 7 cards at the end of the turn in the anchor step, and basically you are all set for the without the need to discard any cards. Okay. So yeah, this is the climax for the combo, the pants, which is called Absolute Zero. Then we put 3 twin drives, 3 Spherical Fighter Infinite. This is the one of the twin drives of the set. It is low power, but when it attacks, you can choose one of your characters, including itself, and that character gains plus 1000 power for the turn, so it gives power. And if you pay 1 during the attack, you can basically perform the trigger check twice. So this is good to push for damage, and basically it works well. It works well with the level 1 climax combo, but anyway, if you want to keep your stock clean, it works basically at any stage of the game. Okay, so this is we put 3 copies. It is an important card, and it supports the attacks of the main Anastasia. Then we put 2 backup, 1k plus 1k. It's free, and basically it prevents, it helps preventing the reverses from opponent if there is a level 1 climax combo from the opponent that needs a reverse. So this is pretty standard. Then we put 1 copy of one of the most important cards of the set, the Captain. So this Flower Team Captain. This card here, I put only 1 copy. However, in other builds, you need at least 2 if you want to be safe, because some of the finishers need this card in the back, typically. Not in this particular build. In this particular build, we don't strictly need this card, but this card is extremely good assist because it's an early play, so you can play it at level 1 if the field is full. It doesn't need the color requirement, so whatever build you use, you can even other colors from red, you can use it, and it pumps a lot of global power. It's 1000 global for all the combat review characters, and when you put a climax, you can give 1000 to a character. So it really pumps a lot of power. So if you want, you can put 2 and eliminate another card at higher level. So it is a very, very good card. You should try to search it if you don't have it already in your hand as soon as possible. Yeah. Then at level 2, I consider this level 2 because it's an early play. We put 4 Spherical Fighter Cherry Blossom. This is Sakura's robot. Now, this works with experience. So if the same card is in your level zone, this gets -1 level in your hand. So at the beginning of the game, you should try to get one of these cards in the level. Okay. And in principle, you should try to put 2 cards of level 3 in the level. Okay, and I will tell you also what other cards you need to put, because the finisher of this build needs at least 2 cards if you want, if in order to work properly of level 3. Okay, in the level area. So then you have to place a Sakura sword blooming in the blue sky, that level 0 Sakura that I showed before when I was talking about the level 0 game. From your waiting room, face up under this as a marker. When this is placed from hand to the stage, you may pay the cost, which is no cost basically, because you just have to place this level 0 as a marker. If so, deal 1 damage to your opponent. So this card is powerful. It's good. Its power is not extremely large, but who cares? It is really an early play that can do a lot of damage, and it has 2 souls, and it deals damage. So it's a really effective card. and it's useful in the final part of the game to modulate the damage. So if you need just a few damages, you can, and you have the stock, you can really put this and on play 1 damage. Then we use also 3 copies of Anastasia Sortie Preparation. This is the second card that is an early play. This also you need to put, you have to try to put it in the level when you are level 0 or level 1, because of the main Sakura finisher, which I will show later. So she just needs the full field, so it's very easy to put on stage. She's a healer, so she heals a damage from your clock, and she has the third effect of the card. Pay 2, rest 1 of your standing combat review characters. When this is placed from hand to the stage, you may pay the cost. If so, your opponent chooses a climax in their waiting room, returns all cards in their waiting room other than that card to the library, and shuffles their library. So this is very useful in the final attack. It is a very effective decompressor of your opponent's deck, and very useful in the final decisive turn. Okay, so consider always this final effect, because it's really useful and potentially a winning effect for you. Then we put the 1 copy of Sakura Daily Training. It's a backup anti-change, 2500 power, and she gets rid of particularly dangerous early play in the opponent's field. Of course, use this with care, because she's going to be expensive. The cost for the anti-change is discard 2 cards from your hand to the waiting room. When you use the backup of this, you may pay the cost. If so, choose one of your opponent's character whose level is higher than your level, than the level of your opponent, and put it in the waiting room. So you have to discard 2 cards from your hand. It's not always, it's not, the cost is not dramatic. It's okay. We use it with care. Then we put 2 copies of the red Atsuho Storm Calling Maiden. She is also an early play. If there are 2 or fewer climax cards in your waiting room, she gets -1 level while in your hand. And during your turn, if all your characters are combat review, which is always the case, this gains 2000 power. So she's going to be 12k. Okay, so when this is placed from hand to the stage, draw up to 2 cards, discard 2 cards from your hand to the waiting room, and put up to 1 card from the top of your library in your stock. So she basically costs only 1 stock. And since you draw 2 cards and discard 2, you have chances to get the gate climax for your final combo level 3. And then the finisher, 3 copies of Sakura for Justice. Now, I put only 3 copies of this finisher because she is very expensive. You'll never be able to use probably more than 2 of these. Okay, 3 is almost impossible. She's a healer, okay, and so when she's placed from hand to stage, you may put the top card of your clock in the waiting room. Then, when she has this experience climax combo, when Heavenly Blade 1000 Cherry Blossom Trees, which is the gate climax, is placed in the climax zone, and this is in the front row, and you have another combat review character, all these things are conditions that are easily met, you may pay the cost, and the cost is pay 2 stocks and discard 2 cards from your hand. Okay? If so, perform each of the following effects once in any order. Deal 1 damage to your opponent and deal X damage to your opponent, where X is equal to the number of cards in your level zone that are level 3 or higher. Typically, you don't want to have 3 level 3 in the level area. You just want 2. 3 is too much. You just want 2. So you can burn 1, then burn 2, or burn 2 and then burn 1 in your desired order. Okay. In my experience, actually, the order it matters only in very specific situations, but it is still up to you to decide which order to deal this damage. Yeah, as I said, since you have to pay 2 and discard 2 cards from your hand, typically you you just and also you have to pay this cost before attacking, before the attack phase. So you cannot gain the stock during the attack with this finisher. So I just put 3 copies of this, and nevertheless, very effective if you manage to put at least 2 of these and to use 2 of this. Yes, so she combos with this climax, the gate climax. So basically we went through all the cards, and we have 4 gate climaxes and 4 Pants climaxes. These are all both plusing climaxes. So the Pants climax adds a lot of consistency to your combos because you have very high chances to get the climax you want from the waiting room, and of course the gate climax you can salvage a lot of characters from the waiting room, and you never run out of cards in your hands. Also because they are very good level 0 utility cards that we've seen. Basically, you never have problems with your hand size. And also the level 1 Anastasia climax combo allows you to pick the cards you want for your level 2 or higher. So this is the summary of this blue-red Sakura Wars deck profile. And in my experience, I've played many games with this particular build. I've tried many builds actually. I've played many games with this build with a very high winning rate. Basically, I probably won even against very good opposition and against meta decks of all kinds. Probably 90% of the games I played. So it's a very powerful deck. Lots of early play. Especially important is the early play that the Anastasia, the blue early play that heals, so you can stay at level 2 for longer. And then there is the red Sakura Cherry Blossom early play, which deals 1 damage, so it pushes for damage a lot. And if you want, you could, in principle, add 1 level 2 1 captain to this build. Maybe you could sacrifice perhaps 1 twin drive at level 1, or 1 of these beaters at level 0 and put another captain, which is a very useful one, because if you have 2 of them in the back row, you get 2000 power global, and then you can give 2000 power to, 1000 and 1000 to any character in your field when you put a climax. So very, very, very useful in terms of power. And yes, so this is the deck I wanted to show you. In my opinion, this is one of the most powerful deck and built in the set. Although in the future, I would like to show you also other extremely interesting, fun, and powerful profiles in the same set. Yes, as a final, let's say, word on this Sakura Wars set, the set is not very well explored, in my opinion. People have tried a few builds, and what I can see on encoredecks is a huge mess. It's not very well explored. It's not very well appreciated for its power. And it is true that some of the finishers are not very exciting, are also very expensive, but in my opinion, the other finishers, for example, this Sakura for Justice, it is very powerful, and also the level 2 cards are really interesting in this set. So with this, I'll present other profiles, Japanese profiles in the future. So stay tuned, subscribe, have a look at the encoredecks profile in the description, and see you next time.